Strap in Chumbas. This is the Atomic Samurai build, no relation. I have to admit, by the end of all my playthroughs so far, I always find myself leaning toward a Netrunner build one way or another. But after trying this build, I realized I'd been missing out big time. And it has been a while since I've had this much fun in Cyberpunk. So let's not waste any more time and start with the character skill tree. In this build we are not going to spend any points on intelligence attribute, since we have no desire to use our brain. Instead, we are going to put 20 points on body, reflexes and technical ability. For the cool attribute, 15 points should be enough. Let's head over to reflexes. First get the slippery perk, since we kind of have to. Plus, it helps us get hit less while dashing, dodging, sliding and all that. Then we move up to improve these skills with this perk over here. The ones around it improve on the stamina cost, dash range and the mitigation chance while dashing. The same goes for the ones up here, they improve aerial combat. With these perks you will be fighting like a superhero. Now these perks over here unlock and upgrade the ability to perform finishers with blades. This is a key factor in this build since you're completely invincible while performing a finisher. You can use this brief window to recharge your Sandevistan. Basically, while slicing and dicing through enemies, your Sandevistan is eventually going to run out of charge. In order to avoid that, you can disable it and perform a finisher right after. As I've mentioned, you won't take any damage, plus your Sandevistan recharges quite a bit, and you can activate it right after the finisher. You also get a bonus recharge for each execution that you do. That is of course if you use axolotl on your frontal cortex, but more on that later. Next is the technical ability attribute. Most of what we are doing here is buffing our Cyberware stats. We want the effects to be longer while lowering the cooldowns. Since we need to fill all Cyberware slots to activate the Cyberpunk perk, unlocking the Edge Runner is essential. Plus, the Fury mode activation chance from Edge Runner is just the cherry on top. Once it's activated, it stays active because you will be constantly slicing through enemies. As for the perks over here, we are unlocking the health item buffs such as their charge speed and charge amount. In addition, we are boosting our projectile launch system with these perks. And last but not least, we are going to get the ticking time bomb. This perk basically gives us an EMP charge that deals damage and stuns targets 3 seconds after activating Sandevistan. The stun is the more important part here as it gives us some breathing room between sandy charges. In the body attribute, we are focusing on health regeneration perks down here and the adrenaline rush perks over here to make moving through enemy targets smoother. Now we get to the cool part. We are focusing on the throwable weapon perks here. If you don't have enough perk points yet, you can skip spending any on this attribute. You can switch to this playstyle if you get bored of the katana or want a stealthier approach. Killer Instinct will give us bonus damage on knife. Scorpion Sting gives better recovery time and poison if we hit a headshot or a weak spot. And Juggler, the most important one here, gives the knife back instantly on a kill. If you want to have even more stealth options with this build, you can unlock these perks as well. For the Relic, vulnerability analytics is a must. It gives you another EMP blast when used. This lets you perma-stun enemies with the ticking time bomb. The other pick is launch capacity override. It adds a charge to your projectile launcher. Personally I skip it because it's not worth the 4 points. The 2 charges you already have should be enough. With our attributes locked in, let's move over to Cyberware. For Sandevistan of choice, we are using the Militech Apogee. This one resembles the one that David used in Edge Runners. His Sandevistan seemed to be on a different level though, but hey, at least this one doesn't push you towards cyberpsychosis. We got Johnny for that. Anyways, at max level it slows down time by 85%, gives 20% bonus headshot damage, crit chance and crit damage. The duration is 6 seconds, but by putting 20 points on reflexes we get extra 2 seconds on it. The cooldown is 25 seconds at max level, but the neat part about this Sandevistan is that you can activate it at any charge level. As I mentioned earlier, by activating and deactivating the Sandy at the right time, like before performing a finisher, you can recharge it without taking any significant damage. By doing that, you are also activating the ticking time bomb perk. The other Sandevistan with the same effect is the Militech Falcon, which has a longer duration but also a higher cooldown. It slows time down by 70%, which is less than the Apogee, and it has lower bonus damage stats. However, if you're looking for a longer duration and are shopping on a budget, we can go for it. For our frontal cortex, the first and most important thing we need is the axolotl, since it provides a 7.5% Cyberware cooldown reduction, which we need for our Sandevistan. Plus it gives us bonus melee damage. It should preferably be the iconic one, which you can purchase from Reaper Dogs in Dogtown. But the regular one would work as well, since most of the Cyberware available for the frontal cortex synergizes with the Netrunner Cyber deck, we have limited options for the remaining slots. So we get the Mechatronic core for bonus damage to robots and mechs, as well as Self-Ice, which helps us deal with enemy Netrunners. For our arms, we are getting the projectile launch system. You can use it to create space when you're overwhelmed by too many enemies, since it deals AoE damage and also stuns them. You can also use it to hit targets that are far away and hard to reach. For the skeleton slot, we are basically bulking up on armor as much as we can. The ones you see here have the best synergy with our build. Like Dense Marrow here, it gives us a good amount of armor while also buffing melee damage at the cost of stamina. Same goes for Integumentary system. We got the subdermal armor and Shock and Awe for more armor. In addition, if you got the build different perk in technical ability tab, you can now use cellular adapter here. The stats on this one are kind of ridiculous, since it gives you 162 armor while taking only 8 cyberware capacity. For nervous system, we are just extending the bullet time by using Reflex Tuner and Synaptic Accelerator. With these two, you can add Stabber for more crit chance on blades and throwing knives. We are obviously going to need reinforced tendons on our legs, also get the handle wrap for your hands for more throwable weapon damage and the tattoo to fill the remaining slot. For the circulatory system, I recommend Biomonitor, Adrenaline Booster and whatever this one is called. You can change things up here to fit your playstyle. Second Heart is a good option to avoid getting flatlined out of nowhere. And if you are constantly fighting MaxTac on hardest difficulty like a maniac, you can exchange this one with Micro Rotors, which buffs the melee damage and attack speed by 25%. For weapons, we are going to go over throwables and katanas. To be honest, any decent katana like Satori, Erata or even this pink thingy works in this build. But if you want the one that sits alone on the throne, you've got to go for Byakko. The damage per hit on this thing is on another level. Besides, it has a unique ability to get a rapid combo boost after you've killed the first target. Let me explain. We know that normal katanas have a brief pause between combos. You can hit 3 slices rapidly, but then you have to wait a little before the next combo. With Byakko, right after you kill the first target, you get a boost effect that basically gives you a never-ending combo. You can keep on slicing until you run out of targets or stamina. And let me tell you, with this build, you'll always run out of targets first. Getting this katana is fairly easy as well. All you have to do is finish Wakakko's missions in Westbrook. Once you complete all 8 of them, she will reward you with the katana. For throwable weapons, I use the knife that's called Fang. It has decent damage, but I mainly use it because it looks cooler than say Nihan, which is obviously the better option. It has better headshot multiplier, better return time, and it has synergy with Satori. That's it folks, now you've got one of the most fun and coolest builds in the game.